Hi everyone, welcome back, and today we're going to be reading chapter 15 of My Angel. So right now, let's get started. I stayed an entire month at the hospital. I had 2 weeks of treatment and strict restrictions to the hospital and grounds, then 2 more weeks of much more pleasant therapy, along with relative freedom of movement about the city. I was lucky to have such good doctors. Perhaps it was only my personal impression, but I couldn't help but notice that Dr. Begrave was a well-built, muscular man. One could say the same about his character. Even his jokes were too direct and strong, but no one took offense. There was a remarkable woman with me in the ward. I had no idea why Valentina was here medically, but she was the owner of a very unusual and rare surname, Nedahada, a name out of Ukrainian legend, the one that means that the bearer of the name isn't living in their own home. Actually, in the sense that those of the family Nedahada have toys in the attic. After I found out about this unfortunate last name, I decided to give a little moral support to that woman. Don't worry, Valentina. Soon you'll get married and will finally be able to change your last name to a normal one. Oh, I am married, said Valentina serenely. Really? Then why didn't you keep your maiden name? Well, my maiden name was also Nedahara. That cannot be. That's right, Polina. All my youth I dreamed of getting married one day, just so I could change my name, Valentina said. Then I met a guy right in our own village. Fell in love with him without asking for the family name first. Who would have thought? You know, there are a lot of Ukrainian villages where one last name dominates. In some there are a lot of Ponomarenkos, in other it's Katyuba. In our village there are several families with the last name of Nedahada. I could only mumble. Our kind Dr. Bagreev always cracked jokes about that name of Valentina's. So, Valentina, still not that Hada? It's okay. Soon we will heal you, and your Hada will become the right one. Then you could change your last name to Tahada, the correct house. Valentina was ready to take offense, but the doctor knew he was in hot water. Bagreev saw a jar of pickled cucumbers on the table and said, "Ah, pickled cucumbers. All we need is a glass of bathtub vodka and a nice fat piece of sallow, the perfect combination." "I will call my mom, she will bring everything immediately," Valentina mouthed in pure Ukrainian with the strong accent specific to the village. We all left together. On that day of my discharge, Dr. Bagreev invited me to his office and said, "Sit down and listen." Dr. Bagreev was sitting at the table and doing nothing, just looked at the paperwork. A minute, two. I started wondering, is he going to speak? Then he got up, gathered folders that were there in a pile, and put them on the edge of the table. He didn't look at me, but walked through the room to the window. Then he started talking, quietly, slowly and surely, like if I was talking to himself. This all seemed very familiar, but I sat down and listened. I have been working as a psychiatrist for nearly 30 years. During my rather extensive practice, I've had more than 100 cases of people who decided to commit suicide, thus to solve all their accumulated problems, or to get rid of their pain. Some of them survived, but mostly they didn't. As a doctor, I know that at such moments, solving those horrible problems and getting rid of the mental or physical pain looks like the sweetest candy, the achievement of the most cherished dream. The human brain can lose, for a short time, the most powerful feeling in the world, the instinct of self-preservation. Only a very strong person, I repeat, only a very strong person, can find the strength to resist this temptation and ask for help. The greatest complication is the realization that you cannot cope with this by yourself. Understand and accept this fact. You have to find the strength to ask for help, to confess your weakness. So you should know, my dear, that only really strong people can accomplish such a feat. At this moment, apparently, a doubt reflected on my face, because Bakreev repeated, "Yes, yes. For a person in such a situation, this is a feat. In my practice, I've had only 3 cases like this. One of them is yours." I stared at him with my eyes wide open, and listened as if his voice was the voice of an angel. Something in my soul started growing and strengthening. Something was changing. And now, I'm going to tell you the most important thing of all. Listen, my dear, and never forget what I'm telling you. You are strong. You are beautiful. You are a smart and talented woman. And if you're able to overcome this, you'll be able to overcome everything and achieve anything you want in your life. He leaned over the desk toward me. Do you understand? Anything? And then he sat down behind his desk and looked at me. This man, so rigorous and so kind at the same time, Dr. Bagreev, settled a feeling of strength and confidence in me. The belief that I was strong, that I could do anything, and would be able to achieve all my desires and dreams. And things started to work out. Okay, so this was the end to chapter 15, and I hope you like it, and I hope to see you the next time. Bye!